yolk sac, and with a mean sac diameter of 8 mm. Okay? So, at 5 weeks and 5 days, aside from the gestational sac, you should have a yolk sac. And at 6 weeks, the 3 parameters should be present. 4 parameters, and that is GS, the yolk sac, the embryo, plus a cardiac activity. This is the only way of analyzing the ultrasound report so that you will be able to analyze and diagnose if this is already a pregnancy failure or not. Okay? Because it is not the duty of the sonologist to inform you that the patient is having miscarriage. It is the clinician that should be able to explain what happened to that ultrasound. Okay? Then, if the mean sac diameter at 18 mm is with yolk sac, that is normal. If the mean sac diameter at 20 mm, you have a yolk sac and embryo, then that is normal. When this thing goes beyond or less than the measurement, then that's the time to analyze if it is a pregnancy failure, early pregnancy failure, or an embryonic pregnancy. Okay? So when you say there is a yolk sac at 5 weeks and 5 days, that's the only time that you will put in the diagnosis, sonographic diagnosis, that this pregnancy is an intrauterine. A gestational sac doesn't mean that this is an intrauterine pregnancy. You have to wait for a yolk sac that should be visible within the GS before you can diagnose that this is an intrauterine pregnancy. Now, if it is a GS, then the diagnosis is pregnancy, early pregnancy, but not pregnant intrauterine pregnancy or pregnancy uterine. Okay? And then, so the presence of which confirms intrauterine pregnancy, and the minimum diameter, okay, minimum diameter, it should be around 5 mm between 6 to 7 weeks, because if it is more than 5 mm, that is considered as macroyopta, and that is already a sonographic indicator that this pregnancy might fail. Okay? So yun ang ibig sabihin nun. And then, the third embryo applies if the age of gestation is less than 10 weeks, meaning 9 weeks and 6 days. It is considered as a fetus if it is exactly 10 weeks age of gestation. So the most accurate sonographic aging is determining the gestational age, and that is your CRL. So a CRL that is 6 weeks, that's not yet confirmed. So you need to repeat it, especially if there are parameters that will contribute to pregnancy failure, like your macroyopta, as well as subchorionic hemorrhage, and cardiac activity that is less than 85 beats per minute. Okay, a CRL, which is equivalent to 5 mm, should have a cardiac motion. A CRL without cardiac motion at 7 mm, then you have to request for a repeat CVS a week after. So a CRL is considered fetal demise if it is 10 mm with no cardiac activity. Huwag na natin pabalik-balikin. What happened kasi, the ultrasound says pregnancy uterine with no cardiac activity. There is an embryo, no cardiac activity. If you were able to analyze the ultrasound based on the description of the ultrasound, pwede na yung ibalik sa amin eh. But if you want to, walang problema, additional income for the sonologist. But on the part of the patient, it is not. Okay? So going back to the case. Question. With a mean sac diameter of 8 mm, 2 weeks ago, what sonographic parameters are expected to be visualized during the routine scan? A, B, C, D, E. Wala ko. A, B, C, D. Letter C. You should have everything, the 4 parameters, and that is gestational sac, yolk sac, embryo with cardiac activity. Then what would be the measurement of the mean sac diameter? If the growth is 1.1 mm per day, our mean sac 2 weeks ago was 8 mm. So 1.1 times how many days? 2 weeks. Okay, so what would be the mean sac diameter then? That's 22.5 point something. So the nearest is 23 mm. Why you need to know this one? It's because this is one way of predicting if mag-fail a pregnancy or not. Okay. So the first one that was flashed earlier, it is amenorrhea with vaginal bleeding. First thing that you have to think of is intrauterine, that threatened miscarriage. Okay? And then, of course, part of the parameters that we need to indicate in a ultrasound to identify how many numbers of fetuses are seen during ultrasound. In the sonographic determination of how many fetuses are there, this is also the accurate age wherein you do chorionicity. Never put in your request in the second trimester wherein you're asking the chorionicity. Chorionicity is best diagnosed during the first trimester. And there are two types, of course, the dichorionic and the monochorionic. The dichorionic, what is the parameter, and that is the twin peak sign. Okay, this is the twin peak sign or the lambda. And another parameter is the dividing membrane or the separating membrane that should be thick or more than 2 mm in thickness. While monochorionic, it is the P size, meaning there is no apparent extension of placenta between the dividing membrane, so flat. And then the separating membrane or the dividing membrane should be thin or less than 2 mm. So if you establish if the chorionicity in the first trimester, it has a 99% accuracy. Okay? So yun at yun na yun. It will never change. And if, for example, you request for chorionicity during the second trimester, the parameter na ibibigay namin sa inyo will be the number of placenta and reset, and at the same time, measurement of the separating membrane, and you analyze it, but not the histology. Okay? So question number 2. So it was a multiple gestation, wherein 3A is 6 weeks and 4 days, and twin B was 6 weeks by mean sac diameter. Okay, so based on the previous lectures, few minutes ago, we started in 3:06, 10 minutes pa lang. Siguro naman may retention pa. Okay, answer. Which of the following ultrasound findings are expected to be seen during the repeat scan in a multiple gestation? If the image is, kung binigyan kayo ng image lang, okay, and then the diagnosis goes with this one, please take note of the difference between chorionicity, that is dichorionic and monochorionic. So memorize it. Lambda means di, and then P sign means mono. Okay? So meaning, if there are two babies and you have no dividing membrane, that will be monochorionic. So sagot dito, it will be dependent on the image. Because it will be, for third year, you will be receiving images during the exam. Okay? Then we go for the predictors of early pregnancy failure. So alam niyo na mag-compute. Okay? Computation of the mean sac diameter, because that is one way of evaluating if this pregnancy is intrauterine or an embryonic pregnancy. So what are the criteria? If the mean sac diameter of 20, kanina sabi natin 18, you should have a yolk sac. 20, you should have an embryo. Now, if the mean sac diameter is 20 mm, you don't have embryo, you don't have a cardiac motion, then a sensitivity specificity of 100% means that this pregnancy will fail. Huwag niyo lang sabihin sa pasyente, baka mo delayed ovulation. You have now the computation of your mean sac diameter that is already 20 cm by TBS. Now, by transabdominal, kung medyo artistic ang patient ko, then we go with transab. If it is 25 mm, then that is still an embryonic pregnancy. Now, if the yolk sac is 13 to 18, meaning 13 for TBS, 18 for TAB at wala kang yolk sac, or your yolk sac is more than 6 mm, then you have to pride your patient that this as miscarriage. Okay? Another sign is that this is the correct term. There is no oligohydramnios. All right to say it is an early oligohydramnios, but the correct term is small gestational sac syndrome, wherein you measure the mean sac diameter minus the CRL. If the difference is 5 mm or less, then that is small gestational sac syndrome. Okay, meaning if it was diagnosed by ultrasound as SGSS, and you have a macrosomy, a macroyolk sac, kahit ka may cardiac activity, repeat the ultrasound in 24 hours. The baby will die, the embryo will die. Okay, it's because a small gestational sac syndrome is an indication of early uteroplacental insufficiency. Huwag nyo nang painumin ng litong tubig at hindi yan dadami. Okay, what else? A cardiac activity at 5 mm based on CRL is 85, then that is a poor prediction. There is no such term as physiologic bradycardia. Okay, we have a graph wherein at 6 weeks the heartbeat should be between 110 minimum to 140. So beyond that, at 6 weeks, hindi siya physiologic, and that is normal even if it is 110. Now, if it is, remember kanina, at 6 weeks completo, if there is a cardiac flutter that was seen as earlier than 5 weeks, earlier than 6 weeks, 5 weeks and 6 days, 5 weeks and 5 days, especially if your machine is quite high-end, then indeed, yes, that is, you can get the cardiac motion. But the cutoff will not be 85. At 85, regardless of age of gestation, pag 5 weeks ka, 6, 7, 8, and 12, then that is the indication that this pregnancy is failure. Okay? So, if you have a cardiac activity and normal sonology, kahit malaki pa yung subchorionic hemorrhage unit, then the pregnancy viability is at 99%. Then, to compare intrauterine hematoma versus subchorionic hemorrhage, if it is an intrauterine hematoma, then that is more higher for pregnancy or abortion compared with your subchorionic hemorrhage. Now, for local translucency as an indication for a first trimester ultrasound, what you need to know is that this is a component of screening for aneuploidy. And it should be measured in a sagittal plane between 11 to 14 weeks, and that's it. The normal cutoff value, it is dependent on the age, basta wag lang mag-exceed 6 mm. Okay? Then what else do you need to know in a first trimester scan in a patient with amenorrhea, on and off vaginal bleeding, and especially if the patient is with hypogastric pain, and that is ectopic pregnancy. Now, you have to differentiate a true gestational sac from a pseudo-gestational sac. So, a true gestational sac, ang description na makikita, when they are decidualized, there is a decidualized regular sac. Compare it with an irregular and not round, and that is a pseudo-gestational sac. And the location of an intrauterine gestational sac eccentric, meaning fundus, while a pseudosac, para lang siyang a case of an intracavitary fluid, which is blood in the endometrium. Another one is the decidual cyst. Now, to differentiate this one, a GS in a decidual cyst, usually a gestational sac, means a residual sign in early pregnancy, double residual sign ang third one. Okay? And that is to differentiate your GS with the ectopic pregnancy. But it is easier if the diagnosis is an adnexal mass that is located or outside the uterus, meaning it is either in the fallopian tube or ovaries. That is the easy way of diagnosing ectopic pregnancy. Another differential diagnosis or a differential diagnosis of ectopic that usually missed an ectopic pregnancy is the presence of corpus luteum. Why? Because both exhibit ring of fire colored float. An ectopic with